Join me as we welcome Reverend Francis Olubambi. You are welcome, sir.
Good. It is a privilege to be doing what God wants us to do. It is a privilege for every one of us. It is a privilege for us to be alive up to today. In fact, it's a privilege for us to be of the doings of God in this our time. I welcome every one of you, and thank you so much for organizing this.
Thank you, sir. We are so blessed to have you today. Now, we know that as a leader of great experience, you must have learned one or two things from the current global pandemic. Would you like to share any of them with us?
Oh, yes. Thanks so much. I learned things from global pandemic. Pandemic, large scale of it, the scale of it is an experience that I think none of us ever experienced before. But one thing is sure, either in this large scale or in the smaller scale crisis, we have the same common unique experience that happens in all. And I learned a little bit, let me just mention some of them. Through this, I gain perspective. Through this, I gain a kind of understanding about so many things. For example, crises are inevitable, and they can come at any time. Crisis is inevitable. Nobody expected this. Nobody. Even the astrologers against the fortune tellers, nobody expected something will shake the whole world within 2 months. Is inevitable. Number two thing that I learned is that we should in budget in place is throughout and breadth of our life. We have good planning and budget in place, because one thing is sure, we don't know what may happen tomorrow. We don't know. So there should be good budgeting, especially for faith-based organization. There should be budgeting. Number three things that I learned is that there is a serious need for every leader to build healthy relationship. We need to build healthy relationship with our families, with our colleagues, with the people we are leading. We need to build healthy relationship. Very important, because now we are just in there is a shutdown or lockdown. We are there with our families. We are there with our children. There should be a healthy relationship. And there should be a healthy relationship with the people we lead. We should be able to call them often. I learned that. And I learned that there should be sound and effective communication. It's extremely important. The last thing I learned from this pandemic, as we may call it, is trusting in God. In every season of our life, we should trust in God. We should trust. Life is not a straight journey. That is what so many of us never knew. Life never is a straight journey. It's full of ups and downs. That is just life. It's full of ups and downs. God designed it to be so. It's just like the contraction and the expansion of the heart. Almost every second, the heart will contract and expand, contract and expand. Life is like that. So problems are inevitable. And this may come, difficulties may come, but God remained faithful and trustworthy.
Secondly, sir, you have been leading several organizations for the past 30 years. And we know that you must have gone through something before, ups and downs, trials. We would like you to share your experience with us, practical ones now, how you have been able to navigate through the different seasons of life, and you have been able to do that.
Now, one thing is funny. For almost 32 or 33 years of my journey with God in doing one thing or the other, I started as a pastor, and for almost 20 years, I've been leading not-for-profit organization. One thing I discovered, one thing I learned earlier in my ministry, and these are the principles. There are 4 principles that I will share with you. But I mean, just to bring us to this thing, the first church I pastored, then I was a student pastor, about 40 of them. Just within one weekend, 15, 25 of them left. It remains only 15.
Wow.
Without any problem.
Wow.
That is crisis. It's crisis.
Mm.
I finished, and the first church they posted me to was a church of about 300. And 6 months after my pastoring, or 4 months after my work there, the owner of the building came. One day he sent us out, 300 people, and they were saying, "Pastor, what do we do?" I never knew anybody. That is a crisis. Then I learned these 4 principles that I think will help everyone. Number 1, God never promised us a smooth ride, but a safe landing. He never promised us a smooth ride. You know, I know so many Christian people believe, or so many Christian theologians believe that immediately you are born again, immediately you accept Jesus Christ, everything is going to be rosy, everything is going to be well, no more problem, no more. See, that is wrong. That is not true. God never promised us a smooth ride, but a safe landing. Number 2 thing that I discover, which is a principle, is that there is always oasis of comfort in every calamity of life. With everything, no matter how difficult it may be, no matter how strong and how difficult it is, there is always oasis of comfort. You remember Haggai and Ishmael. You know, it was like Haggai felt everything is over. But God said, no, there is an oasis very close to you. The 3rd thing that I discovered, that I learned, is that crisis or difficulties, as we may see, because this pandemic brought fear, brought a lot of things, a lot of pains, a lot of untold hardship unto us. I discovered this, that crisis or difficulties are part of the game, of life. But our response to it determines much. If we are cranky and naggy and just think that God is not faithful, it will delay our getting out of it. In everything, God is faithful. In everything. Therefore, we should develop a kind of an eagle mentality. And that, eagle loves crisis, they love storm. So when storms are there, eagle just know that it's helping him to fly higher. We should not develop a chicken mentality. So when there are storms, fowls or chickens will go under. But eagles will fly on top. I that anyway, and I learned finally from my experience is that storms or crises do not last for long. It may be tough, it may be serious, it may be as if it's consuming you, but it doesn't last for long. It doesn't last for long. It's just for a while. As we go through them, by the grace of God, it will bring life. it will bring the best out of us. There is always crisis in the world. There is always crisis in our life, in our family, in ministry we face. I mean, that faces that face us every time. But as we became resolute that this we will overcome it, we will surely overcome it. The pandemic will be a thing of past. You remember the flu, the Spanish flu. We remember the Hong Kong flu. In Africa, for example, we remember a lot of things.
The network seems to be hanging. I wouldn't know if you are hearing me, but this is so highly soul lifting and encouraging. Wow. Third question now, sir. As a person who has been involved in human capacity building, training, seminars, conferences for the last 20 years, and looking at the present situation today, especially in churches, do you think that training or seminars or conferences are still relevant today? Do you think that churches should still be involved in training and holding seminars, having capacity building sessions, especially with their leaders and workers?
Yes, hello. I'm sorry, my internet went down. It's like we are having a storm here.
Oh, wow.
That is another crisis.
Interesting. What a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
You really shared some soul lifting points and so powerful and encouraging.
Thank you.
Totally. I was asking before the network issue. I was asking that as a person who have been involved in training, capacity building, and leadership development for over 20 years now, what would you say? Do you think that this time we still need anything like that, like training and seminars, especially for churches, training their leaders and workers? Do you still think things like that are relevant?
If there is any time in our history as a church, as an organization that we need training, I think this is now. This time, this is the time. For the church, I think we need to really emphasize and focus on leadership development and discipleship making. I know churches, a lot of churches has emphasized more on evangelization and a lot of other things, a lot of other training. In my opinion, this is the very time that we need to do more of leadership and empowerment or discipleship training. Let me tell you this from my research: churches that are so okay in training, leadership training, they have a lot of commitment. I mean, a lot of those churches are flying now because they get a lot of wisdom and they're able to rebrand, able to adjust quickly. Churches that focus on discipleship, they have a lot of commitment. One of the pains of churches all over the world now, all over the world, is commitment from church members. They don't have enough money to pay their bills, especially the staff salary. They are really in debt. They are really squeezing everything. But churches that focus on commitment have more. Churches that focus on what do I call it? a kind of building people, building them up, making them to be mature,
Capacity building.
capacity
Wow.
building, making them to be mature Christians. They are making more now. They are getting more support, more commitment, more, I mean, they are paying more income, I mean, more financial commitment to the church. So therefore, if there is any time in the history of the church that we need training, I think that this is the time. We have a lot of training outfit out there. One of those training we really push in Africa is Global Leadership Summit. We will be coming with it by the grace of God this year. It's going to be, in my opinion, it's one of the best training that can lift up your church, that can lift up your life, that can, it's all embracing, it's all encompassing that you, when you get into global leadership training, you will get more for yourself, get more for your church, and get more for your people.